evolving worlds for your mind.
Hello, teachers and parents and educators and kids. This is the first post of a series I'm doing on Choose Your Own Adventure books, because I want to teach kids that storytelling can be part of their lives. And a big part of kids' lives is video games, which is a whole nother topic, something I've talked about elsewhere and on other articles and videos. But Choose Your Own Adventure books were big back in the 70s, 80s. I remember reading them a lot. There were a lot of offshoots. I've got several. There's a whole lot of choices for Choose Your Own Adventure, Choose Your Own Path, Create Your Own Story, whatever they're called, books for kids. And I think that they don't read them as much anymore, but maybe they don't know about them. Maybe they're not as interesting and we need more interesting ones. I'm not sure. But the thing is, these are branching narrative books, meaning the person reading the book is the character in the story. You are that character, is exactly how most of them start. So when you make the choices, it's you making those choices, and you get a what's called a branching narrative. So the story could go this way or that way, and it goes off on many directions. If you've ever read them, you understand. If not, you should look them up. I will have some links in the show notes. What makes this unique for today's world is that it is perfect practice for kids to learn how to create these type of narratives and stories for video games later. It's practice, it's training, plus it's a whole lot of fun. Kids enjoy this. They love reading these stories once they get into them and all the choices they can make. And then making them, you get those kids that go like, oh my, I can make my own, and they go crazy. They'll make choice, 1,000 choice books. We'll talk about that a bit too. But there are a lot of different ones out there to choose from. Look them up. There's the classic Choose Your Own Adventure books, which they did get re-released recently with some new ones. There are ones that a particular good one of mine is this Indiana Jones book that R.L. Stine wrote, and his Goosebumps series had their own Choose Your Own Adventure type of stories, Choose Your Own Scare. Then there were other ones that got more advanced, and we'll talk about this also because it leads into more practice for video games. These were the ones that added some RPG elements, some other type of game elements where you have like strength and you might have hit points. And when you're fighting monsters, you have to roll a dice for your attack, and you might lose points. You might get items to carry or lose items. The original Choose Your Own Adventure were really just pure story, but then many of these offshoot ones added these other elements, and we'll talk about that. The series is not going to focus on that at the start. Those are more advanced concepts. The original series, if you'll go to the website, follow the link, there's going to be articles to talk about the choices in Choose Your Own Adventure and how they work together and how to think about it. Some people are like, how do I even think about making a Choose Your Own Adventure that has multiple choices with multiple storylines and multiple endings? It gets overwhelming. So we'll break it down into very small examples to help with that. So by the end, you may not have a complete, full-length, multiple choice Choose Your Own Adventure, but you'll have the basics of that you can then work on and build upon to make your own Choose Your Own Adventure book. So this is just the intro to these. Take a look at the article in the show notes that goes back to my website, because I'll have links to some of these Choose Your Own Adventure books. You'll see some pictures. You can find these not only at your local bookstore, which I always push bookstores, but also a lot of times at your library. And like I said, they're not all Choose Your Own Adventures. That's actually a brand name. There's many others to choose from. I know Dungeons and Dragons has some, and I've seen other newer ones that are tuned to today's kids. So check them out at the library, check them out at your local bookstores, and please join me on the next one. Thank you.